Hey, good afternoon, you guys. I'm so excited about today's question topic. Reward systems for kids and students are huge. They're concrete, they're visual, they're so helpful to get kids' behaviors back on track in the direction you want. So I'm so glad that you guys picked that as a topic. But there's some things that we need to kind of start with so that we lay the foundation so that they're successful. So implementing them in a successful way is really important, especially from the beginning because you want your kiddos to buy in. So, and don't worry, I will put all of this out in the comments so you guys can see it, but I'm going to run through it. So the first thing to think about with a reward system is there are external rewards and there are internal rewards, okay? And what does that mean? External rewards are things on the outside. They're concrete, things like money, stickers, M&Ms, time, things that are really tangible, right? And those are generally what you want to use in your reward system. But the big piece, and kids by 6 years old should be able to make this leap, you want to make sure that you are pairing them with an internal reward, okay? So let's say you pick your external reward, that kids are working to earn stickers, and then after they get 5 or 10 stickers, they get more recess time if you're a teacher, or they get M&Ms, or they get more time on their electronic device, right? And these work for teens as well. I'll kind of go through my tips and tools for teens. These aren't just for little guys. They actually can really help you keep your teens on track. So internal rewards are why we do what we do, right? Hi Megan, thanks for jumping in. Internal rewards is what motivates our behavior. It's why we think about what we do when we're around other people. And I think the mistake that people often make with these reward systems is we just make it external. Your ultimate goal is to pair it with an internal reward, okay? So what you want to do is, yes, sticker charts are great. Yes, earning points are great, right? Those external rewards are great because they're concrete and they're tangible, and that's usually what gets kids really motivated. But you also want to tell them the why and the internal rewards. So for example, an internal reward would be, wow, I love that you got your jammies on and brushed your teeth and I didn't have to remind or ask you again. I'm super proud of you and I'm calm and happy, right? And it might sound like you're always explaining how you're feeling in yourself to your kiddos, but that internal reward with that external reward is essential for success. And if your kid's having a hard time being internally motivated, meaning that they don't seem to incorporate or equate an internal reward into why they're doing what they're doing, make it teachable, okay? So if your kiddo's really motivated on earning money or electronic time, keep talking about how you feel when they do the behaviors in the reward system. So for example, my daughter, this week we were picking up her room. It was a total disaster and she was not helping me. And I kept asking and asking and driving myself crazy because I was repeating it and I kept saying, Maeve, can you help me pick up your room? This is a mess. It's really hard to play in your room. And it was really hard for her. So what I did, and normally she likes to get M&Ms when she picks up things, and I didn't have any M&Ms. So what I did was I took her favorite Lovey and I put it in the kitchen and I said, I will throw away your favorite Lovey if you don't help me pick up. And all of a sudden she was motivated because she saw the natural consequence. Now, throwing away Ducky was a natural consequence. It related to what we were trying to fix, right? That's another big tip. You have to make these consequences natural, meaning I was going to throw away Ducky because her room was messy and she had too many toys. And I told her that. Well, right away, this worked. She picked up. She was super helpful. She was on board. It was awesome, and total turnaround in her behavior. And while she was doing that, the internal reward I was creating for her was I kept commenting to her, whoa, I love that you're picking up. You're making mom so happy. I'm not frustrated anymore. Look at your room. It's amazing. We can play and we can walk in it, right? So I was reminding her of those internal rewards. She's 3.5, so it's going to be a lot harder for her to understand internal rewards. Like I said, once kids hit 6, they should be starting to understand how they're impacting and making people feel, and that's super important. And then I walked her over and she got Ducky, and Ducky didn't get thrown away. And she said, oh, I'm so glad that I got to keep Ducky. And I said, well, you did that by the choices that you made because you helped me, right? So losing Ducky was a natural consequence. So natural consequences are really, really important, okay? So another big tip, and this is kind of for my teen clients and students, Don't take away electronic devices. I often hear parents say to me, I had to take away their electronic. They were rude and disrespectful. And that's often the one carrot that we have, right, as a parent of a teenager, that they really seem to respond. Here's the problem with taking away something that has nothing to do with the behavior. And this is actually an overall lesson for all of you parents and teachers to think about, is that when you're implementing a consequence, does it have anything to do with the behavior? Okay. So I hear parents saying they were disrespectful, so I took their phone away. The problem with that is that disrespect has nothing to do with the phone. One doesn't have to do with the other. And that just creates this friction and power struggle with kids, that they're like, wait, why did I lose my phone when I was disrespectful? A more natural consequence for a teen that's disrespectful: you don't drive them to do things. You don't make their lunch. You don't do their laundry. You tell them, I don't want to do things for you because of the way that you treated me. And you stop doing things for them because they're acting disrespectful. Now, you can obviously take away an electronic device if they're overusing it. Like if they're addicted, they're on it too long, they're arguing with friends on it. If the behavior is related to the electronic device, by all means, you need to regulate that. But I find that parents of teens, that's their go-to thing, is taking away that electronic device, and that just creates friction. I would say with your teens, a reward system you could do is have them earn more electronic time. So every time in the morning they treat you kindly before school, and you want to outline, whenever you do these reward systems, make sure you outline the expectations and the behaviors you're asking kids to do and make it attainable, right? So you want to always, with these reward systems, set them up for success. So once you pick your external and your internal rewards, right? If your sticker system or the earning time for electronics, then you want to lay out what it is that's expected, the way that they can earn it, and make it attainable. So start with something small, like 3 or 5. When you set them up for success, that way they get the reward right away. I know it seems kind of like maybe you're giving it to them, but they're going to be way more motivated and have a buy-in. If you make it like, oh, you have to earn 10 stickers, or you have to be kind to me for 10 mornings before school, they're going to not buy into it, and they're going to give up, and they're going to think, I can't do that. So I would say, you know what, let's start with one morning. You're kind to me one morning before school, and this is what kind looks like. I ask you to do something, you do it. You use friendly words and body and really outline what it is you're expecting of them. You do it for one morning, I'm going to give you an extra 10 minutes of electronic time, or 15 or 30, whatever you decide to do with your teens is huge, right? If you're doing it with your little guys, make it attainable too. You get 3 stars, and once you get 3 stars, you get that book that you wanted, or maybe it was a treat, or whatever it is you've decided your external reward system is going to be. Then it's attainable and they're successful. And then gradually you increase the expectations, and gradually you go from 3 to 4 to 5 to maybe all the way up to 10, right? So that they're working towards it. And at the same time, you see the behaviors improving at the same time. Here's another tip, you guys, for picking your external reward. Make sure it's not something they have access to all the time. So if it's like they're earning iPad time, or they're earning watch a show that they want to watch, or a food that they have access to all the time, then they're not going to be motivated because they can have access to it all the time. So when you pick an external reward, right, and there are 2 parts to the system, right? Your how you're tracking it, which is your stars, your stickers, your pennies, your point system. Make sure the external reward that they're trying to earn is not something they have access to all the time, right? That it's out of their reach. That way they're motivated. Make sure it's attainable, that you set up the reward system small and set them up for success, and that they can actually reach it. And then if you do implement any consequences, make them natural. Now, here's the other tip. You can't take away, once they earn a star or a sticker, you can't take it away. Because what's that teaching kids? That they can come and go and they won't have buy-in. So I often see parents do a lot of times like, oh, I took a sticker away because you were just rude to me. Well, no, they don't lose a sticker they already earned. They just don't get another sticker. And you can talk to them about how that made you feel. Like whatever goal you're working towards. Let's say, for example, we'll take my daughter picking up her room, right? The minute she stopped picking up her room, I had to remind her, oh my gosh, remember what the consequence is if we don't pick it up. And she got right back on track. Kids do kind of need reminders at times, but I wasn't going to take anything away from her, right? Because once she earned a certain part of it, like I wasn't going to make her room messier, then she would kind of give up and feel like she wasn't empowered to reach her goal. Okay, so I know that was kind of a lot. We talked about external and internal words and the difference. We talked about how you always have to pair external with internal, and that makes it teachable. We talked about making it attainable in the beginning, so you're setting kids up for success, so not making your goal too big. Don't take away electronics unless the behavior has to do with electronics. They can earn electronic time if that's something that's really big for them. Make your consequences natural, right? So whatever consequences you're wanting to implement to extinguish the behavior, make it about the behavior. So like I used the example, if your teen's being disrespectful, then don't do anything for them. And think of all the things you do all day to think about them. Same thing as a teacher too, that maybe you're less likely to help them. I guess an example for in the classroom with teachers would be like recess. I often hear teachers say that a kiddo lost recess time. Well, if the behavior has nothing to do, like if they're not doing their math and they take away recess time, taking away recess time has nothing to do with the behavior, which is that they're struggling in math, right? If they're getting aggressive at recess, if they're not following the expected behaviors and the rules for recess, then by all means, you can take things away with recess because the behavior relates to the consequence. I will put up some example of some reward sheets. I think it's probably, you probably are all thinking, what does it look like? Of token systems and reward systems that you can use at home. But my homework for you is to think about your external reward system you're going to use, what you're working towards, and then how you're really going to reinforce that internal reward system in the meantime before you implement it. And then I will be giving you guys later in the week some great templates and resources for setting it up. As always, anyone has any questions about all of this, let me know. I'll put all of this in the comment section. Megan, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, evening.